Hey guys, video for this week. So as you're probably already aware, this is probably going to be a short video, mainly because I couldn't get in a full week of work due to the power being shut down. Well, actually, we lost power for all of Tuesday. I couldn't do any work on Tuesday. And so they hooked up generators to get the power back on, and then we were running on generator power for basically the rest of the week until Friday, which is today, and then I lost a couple hours today, but it's not a big deal. So there's a few things that I want to cover. Most of it is to do with the new ship weapons and projectiles. Basically, the start of the week, I just fixed a lot of bugs, basically a lot of bug fixes, getting ready for the Fornax 2 release. And then there was just one small system, the rank system, that I refactored to make a little bit easier to work with, and then the couple of things that I want to go over now. So I'm going to get the big things out of the way. So I've implemented a target widget class for the new ship weapons targeting capability. So this allows this widget to appear on screen when a ship weapon has a pending target, and it has a few things that it exposes to make deciding what the widget should look like a little bit easier. So it's just simply exposed on the targeting category here, and it's just a single property. There's nothing else to it. But in that widget, it's derived from a C++ widget, just for the purposes of exposing additional functionality for use with that particular widget. And you can't select other widgets. It has to be a tracking widget. So with that, there's a couple of things that it exposes. It exposes four events here: found pending target, locked pending target, lost locked target, and lost pending target. So these get fired when the targeting system for the particular weapon that you've currently got equipped and you're trying to target with passes through these events to the widget so that the widget can react. We also expose a bunch of getter functions here as well. So you can grab whether the target that the weapon is looking at is locked, whether the target is pending. So we're currently painting it. It's not actually locked yet. You can get the pending lock %, so that's a value from 0 to 1 for how close the target is to being locked. And then you can grab the owning pawn reference and the actor that is currently being targeted by the weapon. I think I also expose... Did I expose a get owning weapon? No, I didn't. Maybe I should do that. Not that it's too important, but anyway. So what I've set up on this widget is there's two images here. One's the outer reticle, which is just a red color, and then the other one's an inner reticle. The inner reticle is going to flash green to denote that there's currently a target being locked onto, and then it will turn red when the target is locked. So the tick function's just simply pushing the widget on top of the target in screen space. So there's nothing too terribly complicated about the widget. More importantly, it's just noticing these events and functions. So I'll demonstrate this here now. Oops. I should probably get a target. That would help. Okay, so let me just move him so that he's out in the open. Okay. So with targeting, you remember that when we mouse over a particular radius around a enemy ship, you can lock onto it if you hold that for a certain period of time. So you'll see that the widget is locking on, and then it's turning green based on the lock percentage. And you should be able to hear the lock-on noises, so those noises are defined in the properties as well. So once we're locked on, we can shoot him down. So that's all there pretty much is to that tracking target widget. Not too complicated. It gets rid of the debug stuff that I had set up, or replaces the debug stuff that I had set up. And then obviously that can be modified by Patrick or whoever wants to do a better looking targeting reticle. Like that's just what I set up for the demonstration purposes. Now the other thing that I implemented with the ship weapons is the ability for them to aim down the sights. So this is controlled just simply with the checkbox here, can aim down sights. Then you've got a couple of properties here which controls that. So you've got the ADS FOV offset. So this is what the this is the value that the ADS this is the value that the field of view, the current field of view value, will extend in and out from. So the properties below that, the ADS in speed and out speed, that just controls how quickly we go in and out, respectively. Now also with that, I've also exposed the ability to add a widget overlay as part of the aim down sight stuff. So this is just any old widget, and I've just grabbed one randomly from the list of widgets that we have, just for demonstration. So this would be the way to add, like you would think with so like some games have like a black sort of mask that makes it appear as though you're looking through the lens of a scope. So you have your field of vision in the center, and then the edges of the screen are blacked out to give you that idea that you're zooming into a scope. And that's just an example. Like I have no idea how you guys might want to use this, but it's there if you want to use it. Then there's also a property to expose a post-process material as well, and it's called ADS blendable post-process material. Now with this, so this is just any old material that has the post-process material domain set. So if you remember a while ago, Mark did some demonstrations on some cool looking post-process effects in FPS, I think it was. So for the demonstration, I've just plugged in one of those random ones that he had there, because obviously it already used post-process. So you'll see this in a moment when I'm going to demonstrate it. One thing to note is that the the post-process material is blended in over the in speed of the ADS. It's not blended with the outspeed. The reason why it's not blended with the outspeed is because I've noticed that it gives a very odd blend. So to put it in simplest terms, it blends to black, and then once the blend is over, the regular view becomes visible. I don't know why it does this. Maybe it has something to do with the blendables. Maybe it's blending everything to 0, which makes sense from the code's perspective, but we don't want to blend everything to 0. We want to blend it back to whatever the normal view values are. So obviously that's an issue, and that's why I've set it to not blend out. Instead, it only blends in 0 to 1. And then there's also the ADS ADS sound in and out values. So these get played when you zoom in and zoom out. So then I will demonstrate this. So it's pretty cool. You'll see around the edge of the screen that there is some thin blue lines. That's the widget overlay. Now I couldn't find anything that was more obvious than that. So just to take note of that, and then you'll obviously see the zoom in and the zoom out with the post-process. So that's the post-process effect, or one of the post-process materials that Mark had set up. And you could kind of see a subtle zoom in, blend in, and then obviously you should be able to hear the sounds. And then also I hope you can notice that the field of view is also changing as well. So the thin blue lines you can see there around the edge of the screen, so that's actually one of the main menu overlays, but it's served my purposes here for demonstration. So that's all completely opt-in. If you don't want the ability to if you don't want to have an overlay and just do the traditional, so the previous implementation of the weapon systems, just clean nude ADS, then that's fine. You can leave these blank. Alternatively as well, if you don't want to have any FOV change and just make the right mouse button a sort of an overlay effect, you can just change the offset to 0, and then the field of view won't change, but the overlay and the post-process will still come on screen. So also with the ADS, I've tied it into the targeting system as well. So there's now a Boolean property here called only target lock when ADS. So when this is checked, you won't be able to paint a target while you're not in ADS mode. So if I just show you that here, let's just get him out of the way a little bit. So with that, I'm trying to paint him, but I can't paint him because I'm not in ADS. But as soon as I go into ADS, I can paint him as a target. So he's noted he doesn't have a target, and as soon as we have a target, when ADS, we can shoot him. So that's all there is to the stuff, the additional, at least functional stuff that I implemented with the ship weapon system. There are a few behind the scenes things that I did to make improvements to the projectile net sync code. It's still not as great as I would like it to be for higher ping values, but it is certainly a lot better. There's less incidence of projectiles darting across the screen when they do their net sync to the master. So that got cleaned up in a small bit of changes that I did to the way that the projectiles detect when they need to be net synced after the master is replicated to the client. But anyway, that's all technical stuff. You can read about it in the summary that I've got in the invoice. So the only other thing that I wanted to quickly touch on was the rank system, which I have refactored from scratch. Took a couple of hours. So there's a couple of functions that allow you to deal with ranks. So because ranks are purely based on a the index of the current level that the player is at. There's no need for it to be tied into the backend system, so it's purely just a client-side thing. So there's this function here called getRankDetails for level. And that ties into a data table which has all of the rank details in it. I've just got one rank set up here, and it's got all of the familiar, so all of the rank material collection assets. So that just defines the user interface or surface material to use for the rank, and then the name of the rank, which are just defined, which is better defined in the rank details data table, because the function here just pulls from the rank details data table. It then exposes the surface material and the user interface material, as well as the name that is contained within the rank details data table. You already know what the actual rank is because of the level that the player's at. One thing to also make note of is in the player state. The player state now also has a function called getPlayerLevel, and this is replicated to clients. So this is the GameSpark's player data level of the player, and all players know all other players' levels so that they can query the rank table to get the player's rank material. So this is super important for when we create notifications on the UI that need to contain the player's rank. They might also contain the player's badge. So I've also already made modifications to the UI in the necessary areas, such as the after action report for displaying the rank material, as well as hooking it into the notification system as part of the major gameplay achievement notification. So that's the one that appears up in the top right hand corner when you perform some action that that deserves to be up in that spot. So for the major gameplay achievements that get posted to all players, all of those players will see the correct rank for that player, the correct rank material for that player. Obviously, there's some achievements that only appear for yourself, and that'll still display your rank as normal. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all that I want to cover in this video. I'm glad to be back with power and working again. So I'll leave it there. Any questions or concerns, do let me know. Thanks, guys.